Hey, this is Rob, Sigma 3 Survival School, and today I want to show you two simple little hacks that I do. We run 45-day survival instructor programs here, and the bugs can be extreme. It's the kind of place where you sit down on a log and, for 15 minutes and you can pull 15 ticks, trying to run up your legs to get the buffet, And so we've got to do things in order to prevent bug bites here. And I've got two primary things that prevent 100% of bites. I don't get any bites when I do these two things, so stay tuned and we're going to teach you exactly how you can do the same thing. Okay, so the number one most important thing you can do to prevent bug bites in the woods is to just dress properly, okay? The military dresses the way they do for a reason. When you travel to all these hostile places around the world, whether it be a jungle or a desert or some other, forest area that's got a lot of bugs, you've got to dress appropriately. So the way to do that is, one, is with boot choice, right? You need the right kind of boots. So 8-inch boot, doesn't have to be a combat style boot, but when you've got an 8-inch boot, it gives you the ability to, open them up and then tuck your pant in. And when you're choosing pants, you always want pants without a lot of buttons and straps and things like that in them. And then you're just going to roll it behind, fold it in the back, tighten it up, and there's your first layer of bug armor. So for all your crawling ticks, 80% of them are going to make their way up your leg, and if they can't get in your pants, they can't bite you, right? And so I can't tell you enough how important it is to dress like this. You're not going to look super stylish, it's a slightly militant type look, but what's more important? Not getting disease, not getting bit, or your style when hiking around the woods. So 8-inch boots, tuck your pants into your boots, and then we move on up to the shirt. And so we're always wearing a belt, and we tuck our shirt into our pants. And I can tell you right there, that is going to eliminate, with no bug spray whatsoever, 95% of your bug bites. Now, you may still have issues with chiggers because chiggers can get into tight areas that other types of bugs can't. But even with the chiggers, it's going to reduce that number of bites by 95%. And when we tuck our shirt into our pants, even if we're wearing short sleeves or we've got a long sleeve kind of fishing, more hot weather type shirt like this, the bugs that get onto your arms you can see and feel, whereas a lot of places that they get where you most normally get your bites, which is your crotch, behind your legs, down around your sock area, you may or may not feel that. But stuff that comes directly onto your face and onto your hands and onto your arms, you're going to feel that, and you're going to be able to brush the bug off. So that's my number one tip. Anytime I'm telling survival instructors to come out for a program and it's a summer or spring program and we've got a higher bug count, this is going to be your number one thing. And it's especially, you guys who don't like using chemicals, which is a lot of you out there, you can basically eliminate the permethrin hack by just dressing this way. For our second layer of protection, we want to add a chemical element to our clothing. You don't want to take any chances with catching vector-borne diseases. It's better to put a little poison on your clothes than have a debilitating disease. So when I'm looking to get prepped for the survival instructor course, I head over to the farm store and pick up some 10% concentration permethrin, and I make my own custom mix. If you buy Sawyer brand permethrin at the store, it'll come in 0.5% concentrations, and I prefer to double the concentration. When I was in the Army, they gave us stuff that was upwards of 3% mixture, but 1% is plenty strong enough for me. Not saying you should do that, it's just what I prefer. Just remember that for 1% concentration, you want 10 parts water to 1 ounce solution, or for 0.5 you want concentration, you want 20 parts water to 1 ounce permethrin. But with 1% on, there's not a bug in the woods that wants anything to do with me when I'm wearing it. Not even army ants in super remote jungles in Central America. And Sawyer brand is ridiculously overpriced for what it is. You're paying for the convenience of not having to mix it yourself, and you save a ton of money by doing it yourself. When you buy this $16 bottle of concentrate, it'll make about 160 ounces of spray at 1% concentrations, and when you buy a $20 bottle of Sawyer, you only get 24 ounces at 0.5% concentration. So for the same price, you're getting roughly 600% more at double the concentration, and that's a pretty good deal if you ask me. Now, all you want to do is mix up 1 ounce of permethrin to every 10 ounces of water, and with these specific bottles, they have a measuring device built in. All you need to do is squeeze the bottle and the ounce fills on its own. For this mixture, I'm doing 30 ounces to treat 30 ounces of water to treat my pants for the whole season, and then I'm adding 3 ounces of permethrin to that. And once you get it all mixed up, then you just find yourself a spot outside to hang your clothes, spray them down, leave them to dry for the next 24 hours, and it's as simple as that. Once the clothes are dried, you're good to go for at least a month or two before you need to retreat them. Just remember that UV light and agitation from your dryer at the house will kill the treatment faster than anything. So avoid putting your treated clothes in the dryer if you don't have to. So now that I've shown you my top 2 hacks for dealing with bugs, let me address some of the threats of bugs. And when you travel, when you go out into the wilderness, bugs are your #1 threat, short of, drowning and stupid things that you do with your knives or falling down a mountain. Statistically, bugs kill more people than any other living organism out there by a landslide, specifically mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are absolutely deadly around the world. It is not well known, the amount of deaths that are caused by mosquitoes, but it is, upwards of 500,000 to 1 million or more people are reported to have died each year from vector-borne mosquito diseases. So that is your #1 threat, and it is essential that you dress properly, that you cover yourself, that you treat your clothing with permethrin. When I'm out in the woods, especially with this 1% DEET that I like to use, it's like an aura around me. Like the bugs, the mosquitoes, they'll come in and they'll be like, something's off with this dude. We're gonna try his buddy over here who doesn't have permethrin. And when it comes to ticks, in a 1% permethrin, the ticks don't even like crawling up my leg. Now, if I use a Sawyer brand, I've noticed that what'll happen is they'll kind of get up to my ankles and they'll, feel a little woozy and fall off. It is an insecticide and not a repellent. But with this 1% stuff, they just don't want anything to do with me whatsoever. And when I was in the military, we actually used higher concentrations than that. So, you go with what you feel comfortable with percentage-wise, but, permethrin is your go-to. Now, in the tick world, we have some pretty major diseases here in the U.S. that, can be debilitating for life. The 2 primary ones, everybody's heard of Lyme disease, but now there's a new disease out there which, I don't know, and to many of us meat eaters, we might feel like is worse than getting Lyme or some of these other terrible diseases because it makes you allergic to meat. You have a problem with proteins going forward. So you don't want to get bit by ticks. And outside of those two diseases, there are a plethora of other diseases that they carry that are kind of unknown. Rocky Mountain fever, just a whole host of other things. So if you're planning on getting out, you've got to dress properly. You may not look cool doing it, having your pants tucked into your boots and your shirt tucked into your pants, but you're going to be protected. You're going to be more comfortable. You're going to enjoy your outdoor trips in buggy areas a lot better because you're not going to get chewed up. And it just makes life in the woods that much better. So that's my spiel on, threats. If you've got an interest in taking some of our classes, check out survivalschool.us. We are a GI Bill approved school. Thanks for your support and have a great day.